I'm Lily Thompson, 35, and I'm sitting at the head of the conference table in my newly expanded office. The room is filled with executives from both my tech-driven real estate firm, Thompson Real Estate Tech, and the recently acquired Carlton Properties. As we review the quarterly reports showing remarkable growth and successful integration, I can't help but let my mind wander back to how it all started. It was just a few months ago at our annual family business meeting. My family has long been the powerhouse in the traditional real estate scene with Thompson Real Estate Group. I was so excited to share the growth of my company. I had worked my fingers to the bone to build it from the ground up. But when I arrived at my parents' grand mansion in the suburbs, instead of being led to the conference room, my mother, a no-nonsense woman named Carol, directed me to the kitchen. "Dear, the meeting's agenda is packed. There might not be time for your updates. Why don't you wait here and catch up on some work?" she said, patting my arm in a way that felt more like a dismissal. I stood there, portfolio in hand, watching as board members and executives filed past me into the real meeting. Some gave me a polite nod, but most seemed to look right through me. My older brother, Ethan, 40, who had been groomed to take over the family business since childhood, walked by with two senior managers, deep in conversation about a big commercial deal. "Hey, Lily, grab me a coffee if you're in the kitchen, would you?" "Black, no sugar," he said without even breaking his stride. I was humiliated, but I swallowed my pride and walked into the kitchen. It was a beautiful state-of-the-art space, but at that moment, it felt like a prison. As I sat down at the island and opened my laptop, I could hear the meeting starting down the hall. My father, Richard, a stern and traditional man, was leading the discussion. I was trying to focus on my work when my phone buzzed. It was my assistant, Maya. She was usually so calm and composed, but her voice on the phone was filled with excitement. "Lily, Carlton Properties is selling the whole company," she blurted out. I nearly dropped my phone. Carlton Properties was our biggest competitor in the tech-forward real estate space. They had a great reputation, a strong client base, and had expanded into markets we'd been struggling to enter. "That's impossible," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. "Mr. Carlton has terminal cancer. He wants to sell quickly to ensure the company's future," Maya explained. I started to think about the implications. Acquiring Carlton Properties would not only make my company a major player in the industry, but also prove to my family that my vision of tech-driven real estate was the future. I quickly did some mental calculations. My company had just closed a funding round, and we had some cash reserves, but we'd still need additional financing. I decided to take action. I told Maya to contact our legal team and start working on preliminary acquisition documents. I also asked her to reach out to our investors to discuss financing options. Then I made the decision to enter the meeting. I gathered my materials, straightened my suit, and walked purposefully towards the conference room. When I opened the door, all eyes turned to me. My father looked annoyed. "Lily, what are you doing? We're in the middle of an important meeting." I took a deep breath and said, "I know, but I have some information that could be very valuable to the family business. Carlton Properties is for sale, and I think we should consider acquiring it." The room fell silent for a moment, and then my family members started to react. My father shook his head. "This is too risky. Carlton has invested in new technologies. It's a fad that won't last." Ethan chimed in, "Lily, you're being impulsive. We have our own business to run. We can't just jump into something like this." One by one, they dismissed my idea. They didn't even want to consider the potential benefits. It was as if all my hard work and success with my company meant nothing to them. I was angry, but I didn't let it show. I said, "I understand you have concerns, but I've been analyzing Carlton's business model. Their technology can revolutionize our industry. This is an opportunity we can't afford to miss." But it was no use. My father gave me an ultimatum. "Either you come back to the family business and learn from the ground up, or you stay out of these decisions." I left the meeting, determined to pursue the acquisition on my own. I drove back to my office, which was a converted loft in the city. It was a far cry from my family's traditional offices, but it was filled with energy and innovation. Maya and the rest of my team were waiting for me. We spent the next few days working around the clock to develop a detailed acquisition strategy. We faced a lot of challenges, especially when it came to financing. But we didn't give up. I also talked to my grandfather, Henry. He had been semi-retired from the family business, but still had a sharp mind. He listened to my plans and said, "Lily, I've always believed in your vision. Your father is too set in his ways, but this industry needs change. You go for it." His words gave me the confidence I needed. We pitched our acquisition plan to investors. It was a long and difficult process, but in the end, we managed to secure the financing. We presented our offer to Mr. Carlton in person. He was impressed with our vision and our commitment to the company's future. He said, "I can see that you understand where this industry is going. I'm choosing your offer because of that." We signed the preliminary agreements, and news of the acquisition spread like wildfire in the industry. My family was silent at first, but a few days later, my father called me. His voice was hesitant. "Congratulations on the Carlton acquisition. It's an impressive move," he said. I was shocked. I didn't expect him to be so positive. He then suggested that we discuss potential synergies between our companies. Over the next few months, things started to change. My family began to recognize the value of my work. At the next board meeting of the family business, I was invited to sit at the table. My father even acknowledged my recent achievements. Now, as I look around this conference room filled with the combined teams of Thompson Real Estate Tech and Carlton Properties, I realize that the most important thing I've gained isn't just a successful acquisition. It's the confidence to follow my own vision and the respect I've earned from myself and others. Have you ever been underestimated by your family? How did you prove them wrong? Share your stories in the comments below. And if this story resonated with you, don't forget to like and subscribe. Sometimes, the people who doubt you can be the motivation to build something truly great on your own terms. Thank you for joining me today.